Hello, this is me. Probably about 21 weeks ago, I was drinking every night, fat, eating like an asshole, and 336 pounds. Biggest I've ever been, biggest I ever hoped to be in my entire life. Was not in a good spot. Decided to look up, fat people shots. Discovered peptides and Retatrutide. Asked my wife. She said, go for it. So after a little bit of research, figured out how to get ripped off the first time. I got Retatrutide, but I paid way too much for it. Found a good source from other spots. I've got a link in my description down there for a blog post about how I got ripped off, how I sourced different locations. So check that out. That's at retatrutidelog.com. This is meant to be a weekly check-in. So I've got my weekly progress photos up here. We'll start off with the front. So this is 21 weeks in. So like I said, starting weight was 336.6. Got my side here, back. A little bit of a scale regression this week, not because of Thanksgiving. Was not contributing. If you remember, if you've been following along, I intentionally added about 100 more carbs of white rice to my diet. So post-workout, like I'm getting ready to go inside from working out, I'm gonna have eggs, 4 eggs, half a cup of rice, and half a cup of cottage cheese, and then I'll have another half a cup in the evening with dinner, with some lean ground beef and some hot sauce and stuff like that. But that was done 2 weeks ago. I was on super low carb before that, so less than 50 grams of carbs a day for 19 weeks. I lost a lot of weight, but I stepped up in the gym lately. I've been going 6 days a week instead of the 5 days, so I increased intensity, frequency, gone up in reps slightly. So getting stronger basically, but I still feel flat. So I wanted to reintroduce carbs very lightly. So that is, I feel like I've gained, well, the scale says I gained 2.2 pounds this week. So that brings me back up to week 20, I believe's weigh-in was 600. 264.4 this week. So up, but there's no way I ate 3,800 calories extra this week, even with Thanksgiving and all the goodies that were available there. I definitely was in a deficit, and I think this is just all glycogen and water coming back into my muscles, and I'm recovering slightly faster. So this is week 2. So I'm thinking, maybe next week, maybe even a little more of a bump, or I shouldn't say bump up, but maybe not as big as of a 2-pound loss like I've been seeing. But I'm going to shift focus away from scale watching, as they say, and just focus on what's in the mirror and watching the fat mass on my scale, make sure that goes in the right direction. Let's see. Yep, so that was planned. Not panicking over those extra pounds went up. It was inevitable at some point I was going to stall or even go up a little bit and have to make an adjustment, but I'll keep watching this, and if I go 2 more weeks and I don't have any progress back the other direction, I'll reassess my calorie intake. But I just recently weighed everything. I've got a blog post about what I eat in a day. So I just went through where I just weighed everything out, took pictures of everything. So I broke down all the macros of what I'm eating, and I eat the same thing every freaking day. So I'm boring like that, with the exception of Thursday. That was my first cheat day. Thursday was Thanksgiving for us here in the States. It was fun. Got to see a lot of family I haven't seen in months to years in some cases. Was really good. Abstained from all alcohol still no desire to drink. That's really been a switch that Retatrutide ticked off, was just crushing any desire for any kind of drink. overeating. The only thing it's really done is improve my blood labs and make me want to get in the gym more. So take that for what it's worth, I guess. Yeah. So looking at the current stack that I'm on, still 12 milligrams of Retatrutide a week. That's 6 milligrams Monday, 6 milligrams Thursday. So that lined up perfect for Thanksgiving. I got a fresh injection in the morning to curb the appetite. So I kind of kept the calories down that day. Still on 4 IUs of HGH every morning before I go to the gym. Not sure if I mentioned that in the last video, but when I did my labs, I did get IGF-1 tested. I'm showing about a 1 standard deviation above my age group, or at least according to their data, and about 200 on the actual metric for what the IGF-1 levels were. So I feel like I'm above where I should be. I'm probably 60 to 100 over what I should be for my age range, and that's probably pretty accurate. I feel better. Still on 150 milligrams of testosterone cypionate. That's from AlphaMD. They're my TRT clinic. Super easy to onboard with them. With my veterans discount, I'm paying about $100 a month or so, 110 or something, I think, like that. Easy to deal with. Some of the clinics that I tried to get with wanted me to use their labs. That's $300 out of pocket for that and all that kind of stuff. But these guys let me upload my own lab reports, PDFs, all that type of stuff. So super easy to work with. Just did a check-in with them. No changes, no dosing. E2 is in check, so estrogen's in check, and testosterone was mid to upper 600s. I think I said 200s in the last video. Still on 2.5 milligrams of GHK-Cu. I've dropped out the TB500. A little tweak in my back, feels completely healed, so I don't feel the need to keep medicating myself with that. So drop that out and still sticking with the 2.5 milligrams of GHK-Cu. That's really just an insurance policy. I don't see any real signs of super duper loose skin. It's going to be inevitable. I ballooned up pretty big, so. But I have seen some improvements in stretch marks and just even some general skin conditions. But it could be all placebo. But there's a lot of good studies around GHK-Cu, especially in dermatology and whatnot. So I feel like that's going to do whatever benefits I can get from it. I feel like I'm going to get that. I've dropped 5 amino out of the mix. I was doing 50 milligrams morning and then 50 milligrams mid-afternoon of that injectable, and that gives me a little bit of a kick, but I like to cycle it because I start to feel the little energy kick die off. Once I start to feel that, I usually only give it another, finish out the week that I'm on. So back on SLU PP 332, that's 5 milligrams before the gym, and all that type of stuff. Got some blog posts for like the 5 amino 1MQ for kind of mixing it. There's not much to it, but mixing and filtering it, that keeps the cost down, because I am on slightly higher dosage than what you'd be able to get from a pre-manufactured product. So yeah, I am doing that from raws. In general, I feel great. Gym 6 days a week fits me pretty well. Still up at 4:15 a.m. Get prepped, ready to go. White Monster before I go to the gym. It's mainly for the taurine. There's 2 grams of taurine in there, so that's pretty good for heart health and whatnot. So hit that. And this morning a little bit late start because I forgot that they don't open till 7 on Saturdays. So I always forget that. Still just stuck with Planet Fitness here. Fits my needs, low foot traffic. So all in all, I think a pretty good week, even though the scale went up. It's just kind of proof in the pudding that weight loss isn't linear. Like I tell everybody who starts Retatrutide or starts a weight loss, take pictures. You know, take your progress pictures, because when the short burst of, oh man, I didn't lose anything this week, or you just start feeling down, you can look at that and you can see, I am making progress. Slow as it may be, it's still a step forward in the right direction, better in your health. So I think it really helps to be able to see that, like, oh, I started here, holy crap, I was a fat piece of crap. So it's really good to see that progress. I'm happy to share it with folks out there. It's been life-changing. So that's going to do it for week 21. Thanks for watching.